Hi, welcome to ICI.
ICI aims to deliver quality pre-construction, management, and field services in every aspect of design and construction. We treat each project as a stepping stone to the next by creating strong relationships with our clients based on teamwork, trust, pride, safety, and the ability to overcome challenges. By putting our employees in positions so that they can succeed, we provide a superior service that allows for growth within. In this new hire orientation, we will go over company culture, at-will employment, company policies, employment basics, compensation, employee benefits, safety, field safety and responsibilities.
ICI employees are expected to contribute to a safe and healthy work environment that promotes cooperative working relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Because each employee's job is important to the overall success of ICI, all employees are expected to complete their tasks skillfully and efficiently.
Your employment is at will, which means as an employee, you have the right to end your work relationship at any time with or without advance notice or cause. Equally, ICI has the same right. This is not a contract, promise, guarantee of any terms or conditions of employment or for employment of any length of time. Understanding company policies. ICI provides equal employment opportunity to all employees and applicants. Employees may not physically or psychologically harass or engage in discriminatory behavior towards another individual. ICI has a zero tolerance policy for violence and drug and alcohol use. Violation of the substance abuse policy will lead to disciplinary action up to termination. Now let's go over employment basics. Your information should be updated as changes occur to ensure you receive all the necessary information. Non-exempt employees are paid hourly. Exempt employees are paid salary and are exempt from compensation for overtime hours. Excessive tardiness or absenteeism will not be tolerated. Personal business or phone usage shall not be conducted during working hours. Please see our cell phone policy for more information. Disciplinary action will depend on circumstances surrounding the violation in accordance with company policy and may be punishable up to termination or resignation. Compensation. All employees are required to maintain accurate time tracking by signing in and out of the timesheets daily. Paychecks are distributed every Friday. Overtime is beyond 40 hours for non-exempt employees. Your employee benefits will also include Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, health, dental, and vision insurance, and a 401k and retirement plan.
Hi, I'm Dave Webster. If you haven't met me, I'm the construction manager here at ICI. Welcome to the ICI family, and we're going to go over a few little safety items, and if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Safe work practices and good housekeeping habits are responsibilities that we all share. The Occupational Safe and Health Act of 1970 requires companies to furnish all employees a workplace free from recognized hazards and in compliance with safety and health standards proclaimed under the Act.
Housekeeping on a construction project should be on an ongoing process, not a one-time practice.
Location of first aid kits, which should be in all gang boxes on the job site. Safety data sheet, SDS location, should be in the general contractor's office. Location of the project safety program, manual, and site-specific safety plan in case of emergency should be in the superintendent's office. Report injuries, accident, or near-miss incidents immediately to supervisor or safety director.
Scaffold must be sound, rigid, and sufficient to carry its own weight, plus 4 times the maximum intended load without settling or displacement. It must be erected on solid footing. Unstable objects such as barrels, boxes, loose bricks, or concrete blocks must not be used to support scaffolds or planks. Scaffolds shall not be altered, moved, dismantled in any way. Scaffolds must be equipped with guardrails, mid-rails, and toe boards. Any damaged braces, brackets, screws must be replaced, repaired immediately. Platforms must be tightly planked with scaffold plank grade materials or equivalent. Competent person must inspect the scaffold before each shift. Rigging must be inspected. Scaffolds can be accessed by using ladders or stairwells. There must be 10 feet from electrical power lines at all times. Employees are not permitted to work on scaffolds when covered with snow, ice, or other slippery materials. Employees are not permitted to work on scaffolds in bad weather or high winds more than 17 miles an hour unless a competent person has determined that it is safe to do so.
Guard every floor hole with a worker can accidentally walk on. Guardrails and toe boards around every elevator, open-sided platform, floor, and runway. Leading edge 6 feet or more above lower level must be protected by guardrail systems, safety net systems, or fall arrest systems. Guardrails must be 42 inches plus minus 3 inches with the mid-rail halfway between the top rail and walking surface. Working in a boom lift requires fall arrest systems.
Use the correct ladder for the task. Have a competent person visually inspect the ladder before use for any defects such as structural damage, split, bent side rails, broken or missing rungs, steps, cleats, and missing or damaged safety devices. Make sure that the ladders are long enough to safely reach the work area. Marker tag: do not use damaged or defective ladders for repair or replacement or destroy them immediately. Be sure that the rating can support the weight of the user, including materials and tools. Never load ladders beyond the maximum intended load or beyond the manufacturer's rated capacity. Avoid using ladders with metallic components near electrical work and overhead power lines.
Stairway treads and walkways must be free of dangerous objects, such as debris and materials. Slippery conditions on stairways and walkways must be corrected immediately. Make sure that treads cover the entire step and landing. Stairways having 4 or more risers or rising more than 30 inches must have at least 1 handrail. Stairways shall have proper lighting to prevent falls.
Only trained and authorized persons are allowed to operate aerial lifts. Hazards: fall from elevated levels, objects falling from lifts, tip-overs, ejections from the lift platform, structural failures or collapse, electric shock, entanglement hazards, contact with objects, contact with ceiling and other overhead objects. Prior to each work shift, conduct an inspection to verify that the equipment and all its components are in safe operating condition. Employers must assure that work zones are inspected for hazards and take corrective actions to eliminate such hazards before and during operations of an aerial lift. Fall protection. Access gates are closed. Stand firmly on the floor of the lift. Do not climb on or lean over guardrails or handrails. Do not use planks, ladders, or other devices as working position. Do not belt off to adjacent structures or poles while in the bucket. Use a body harness or restraining belt with a lanyard attached to the boom or bucket.
Maintain a safety data sheet, an SDS, for each chemical in the facility. This information is accessible to employees at all times in a language that formats that they are clearly understood by all affected personnel. Employees shall be trained on how to read and use the SDS. Follow manufacturer's SDS instructions for handling hazardous chemicals. Employees shall be trained about the risk of each hazardous chemical being used. ICI shall provide spill cleanup kits in areas where chemicals are stored. Have a written spill control plan. Employees shall be trained to clean up spills, protect themselves, and properly dispose of the used materials. Provide proper personal protective equipment and enforce its use. Store chemicals safely and securely.
Only trained and certified operators are approved to use forklifts. Do not allow any employee under 18 years old to operate a forklift. Properly maintain haulage equipment, including tires. Do not modify or make attachments that affect the capacity and safe operation of the forklift without written approval from the forklift's manufacturer. Examine forklift truck for defects before using. Prohibit stunt driving and horseplay. Do not handle loads that are heavier than the capacity of the industrial truck. Remove unsafe or defective forklift trucks from service. Operators shall always wear seat belts. Avoid traveling with elevated loads. Assure that rollover protective system, or ROPS, is in place. Make certain that the reverse signal alarm is operational and audible above the surrounding noise level.
Safety glasses or face shields should be worn anytime work operations can cause foreign objects getting into the eyes, such as during welding, cutting, grinding, nailing, or when working with concrete or harmful chemicals, or when you're exposed to flying particles. Eye and face protectors are selected based on anticipated hazards. Safety glasses or face shields are worn when exposed to electrical hazards, including energized electrical systems. Construction workers should wear work shoes, boots with slip resistance and puncture resistant soles. Safety toe footwear is worn to prevent crushed toes when working around heavy equipment or falling objects. Gloves should fit snugly. Workers wear the right gloves for the job. For example, heavy-duty rubber gloves for concrete work, welding gloves for welding, insulated gloves and sleeve when exposed to electrical hazards. Workers shall wear hard hats where there is a potential for objects falling above, bumps to the heads from fixed objects, or of accidental head contact with electrical hazards. Hard hats are routinely inspected for dents, cracks, or deterioration. Hard hats are replaced after a heavy blow or electrical shock. Hard hats are maintained in good condition. PPE is mandatory on all ICI projects with no exceptions.
What is silica? Silica, often referred to as quartz, is a very common mineral. It is found in many materials common on construction sites, including soil, sand, concrete, masonry, rock, granite, and landscaping materials. Why is silica hazardous? The The dust created by cutting, grinding, drilling, or otherwise disturbing these materials can contain crystalline silica particles. These dust particles are very small. You cannot see them. The respirable silica dust causes lung disease and lung cancer. It only takes a very small amount of airborne silica dust to create a health hazard. What is ICI doing to control silica? ICI has taken the necessary steps to perform air monitoring to determine the level exposure that employees are in. OSHA requires employers to keep their employees at or below the permissible exposure level of 50 parts per million. Our current exposure level is 40. ICI is working on new ways to minimize the exposure even lower than our testing levels. With the help of every employee, that can and will be attainable. Appendix D of the respirator program is for voluntary use of respirators, for example, dust masks. Each employee will be required to sign voluntary use form prior to obtaining a dust mask to ensure that they have been given the information and understand the policy. Considerations while working around silica include: wash hands and face before eating, drinking, and smoking. Wear a dust mask whenever finishing and sweeping operations. Vacuum drywall dust from clothes and floor whenever possible. Use dustless equipment if available. Barricade working areas with tape and signs to inform third-party workers of the hazard being created. Never use an air hose to clean clothes or working surfaces, as the silica will become airborne again. Remember, you can help maintain and eliminate the exposure by following these steps. If you have questions, please see the safety department.
Welcome to ICI.
Hi, welcome to ICI.
Welcome to ICI.
Hi, welcome to ICI.
Hi, my name is Nick Hartline, President of ICI, and I want to personally welcome you to our team. Bienvenido.